Would be a nice podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. My name is Florence Akpan, the founder and lead consultant at InfoPlace Canada, a Canadian immigration consulting firm, helping immigrants from around the world who are looking to come to Canada. Today, I have with me Sophia Etohube, one of our clients who used our services and moved to Canada with her family. So, a little bit about Sophia before we get started. Sophia is a producer with more than 6 years of newspaper experience, radio, TV, and digital video creation. She holds a degree in linguistics from the University of Nigeria and has now recently completed a master's degree in organizational management from Crandall University in New Brunswick, Canada. Sophia has worked with top media companies like HIP TV, R2 TV, Pulse Nigeria, Galaxy TV, both on full-time and freelance basis. She was at one time the manager of the Miss Nigerian company. Aside from being a producer and content writer, she has her own media firm operational in Nigeria. She has written and produced live TV shows, TV commercials, documentary, and original content for various platforms. Currently, Sophia has just graduated, like I said, from her master's degree in organizational management and is looking forward to making a comeback in media in Canada. So, Sophia is a mom and is married and has been married for 4 years. Sophia, thank
Hi.
you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Oh, well, I think I am doing super great, aside the cold, of course, but I'm super cool. And thank you for having me today.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been such a pleasure. I know that even just getting to this moment to have to do this um, has been great. It's such a great opportunity to do this with you
Thank you.
and to get to share today what it's really like, moving to Canada
Mm-hmm.
with your family, talking about your experience, what you had to overcome, and how everything has been. So, if you're joining us, I just want to be sure that you can hear us. Leave a comment, tell us where you're joining from, and we will love to make sure that everyone is hearing us as we're getting started here today. So, while you're doing that, while you're telling us that you're here, Sophia, tell me about the decision to come to Canada with your family.
Okay, so I think it's just been something we've always had in our mind after we got married. We've always known that we wanted to just, have access to other places, not just, just be in Nigeria. We always knew we wanted to have access to other countries,
Mhm.
especially when we started having kids. We were like, you know what, we want to give better to our kids. I mean, kind of like the things our parents were not able to give to us, we want to see if we can be able to afford that to our kids. And then it also got to the point where we were more like, okay, so maybe our business, the industry, yes, that's my son
Yes, of
in a
course.
shower. I'm coming. I'm busy. Oh, sorry, darling. Sorry. No. Oh Lord. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it's more like we also knew that doing media internationally was going to give us the push we needed in the future of where our careers were going to, because my husband
Mhm.
is in the media, I myself am in the media, so it was just the right decision. And then I also knew I was going to do and go for another degree, but I knew I wasn't going to do it in Nigeria. So those three basically gave us the push and the vision that we needed to see ourselves move to Canada.
Move to Canada. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's great. And a lot of people do have that and want to know that there's better out there, just like you said, want to give their family better. Hello, Rosie. Thanks for joining. They want to give their family better and all of that. But the thing is, a lot of people also don't know where to start. Walk me through a little bit of where you started and how you worked to achieving that goal of actually being in Canada with your family. So, just for someone who's out there and doesn't know where to start.
Okay. So the first thing for us first was, like I said, putting down why we wanted to do this, right? And then it looked very practical to us. It looked like something that was possible. So when we knew that it was possible, that's number two, we decided, okay, what we were earning at the time, was it going to be able to carry us through this journey?
Mm-hmm.
And then we started working towards that. We started putting finances aside, we started putting money aside. Then also we started looking for information, the right information. And I think that was what led us to Info Place, you know.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
we started looking for the right sources, the best pathways, because
Mm-hmm.
it was crazy getting to decide what pathway we wanted to come with. I mean, you have to consider the age of both couples, you have to consider your educational background, your career, and all that. So all those things, and then the next level for us, the next phase for us was what triggered us to now say, you know what, we're going to do this. And if I could recall, that was the October 2020 during the NSAS.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it for my husband.
Yes.
that
Yes.
that was the icing on the cake for my husband. So we just knew that, you know what, just maybe this is just the time we need to start intensifying this plan. And
Mm-hmm.
yes, October 2022, because after COVID, everybody was stuck at home, so many things were happening,
Yeah.
and so the push we needed. So that was it. So for me, first you need to consider yourself. Do you agree? Does this align with where you are? If this
Mm-hmm.
aligns with where you are at the time, then you need to consider the financial implications of that. Then you
Yeah.
also need to now put the plans. You have to go ahead. Like us, it was the NSAS that pushed us. So
Yes.
I don't know what it
It's
could be.
always that catalyst. Yeah.
Let me use the phrase insecurity, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. That was what pushed us. And then we were like, you know what, let's do this. Now that we already have it in mind, let's just do this.
Let's
So
do
that
this.
was it for us.
Perfect. That's good. And I mean, it was really, of course, it was great working with you guys. I remember you guys had started out with a consultation with the team to figure out what the pathway would be to getting to the school. Working with InfoPlace, what was your experience? Like, what would you share as the highlight of working with us on your application? I know I've not asked you that, but I want you to share that naturally. What would you say was the highlight?
I think the highlight was the fact that you took it personal. You and your team,
Yeah.
you took the whole thing personal. JJ, thank you. So you guys took the whole thing personal. So we kind of felt safe. We kind of felt like we could trust these people. It wasn't
Yeah.
easy coming to me. I'm an Igbo girl. It wasn't
Yeah.
easy getting my husband say we're going to use an agent. I was like, you want to just give somebody money? Let me go
Yeah.
and read. I'll go and read. I'll go and study online. I was all about that. But then upon our first conversation with you and the team, we realized that you guys knew your A to Z. You guys knew what we wanted at the time. The
Mhm.
information were just right. And
Yeah.
that was what we were looking for. We wanted to see people who knew what they were doing. And
Mhm.
InfoPlay takes this kind of personal. Maybe
Yeah.
because the owner has a family and all of that. So she's channeling the mommy vibes and everything into her work.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys kind of took us very personal. It was not just consulting to move. We kind of became priority for you guys, and I'm sure that's
Mhm.
probably how you handle the rest of your
The rest of
clients, because a
absolutely.
lot of feedbacks I've been getting from some of my friends says
Yeah.
same thing. So you guys take this thing personal. I think that was
Yes.
it for us.
Yes. And
So
I think it's, yeah, and thank you so much for sharing that. And I always love to hear that, even when our clients leave feedback on like Google or on our website, it's just because it's such a life-changing moment in what we do. We may not be saving lives directly, but we're changing lives. And I
yeah,
always tell my team, it is life-changing for every single person who is deciding to make this journey. The
yes,
day that decision comes through and it's an approval, their world has changed, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So Tell me about that day when you got that approval and that that journey of actually realizing that you're going to leave, first of all, what you have built in Nigeria,
Oh.
uproot to another country. What was that process like for you and even for your husband as well?
So let me first start with the day we got the approval. It was my husband. I hope he can see this, and I hope he's live, and I hope he can hear me.
Yeah,
It was my husband, right? My
yeah,
husband was out chilling with his
yeah,
colleagues
yeah,
out somewhere in Lagos State, and
yeah,
then you called,
yeah.
and I don't know what happened with both of you, but my husband sent me a video, and it was so emotional. He was, I knew something was up, but I couldn't place it. The first thing that came to my mind was like, they've not given us this thing like this. They are big, you know. So my husband was saying sweet, sweet things to me. You're the apple of my eye. Just give me all those good vibes. I was like, Top, just be coming back home, Sha. Come and tell me
Yeah,
the full gist. So when he got back home,
that's
he was like,
funny.
babe, come, Florence called though. Something happened. No, he didn't say Florence called. He said something from his work. I was
Yeah,
like, should they've caught you like this?
yeah,
Yeah. So, when we got to the room, he called the kids. He made sure I had both kids in there. He just wanted that moment.
that
And then he
moment.
was
Yeah,
like, congratulations, we're going to Canada. I left three of them. I ran. I ran around my house. I was screaming. I don't know why I was screaming. I was screaming around my house for a good 1 to 2 minutes, just screaming, thank you,
yeah,
Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Kabashing, saying every good thing I could say to God.
yeah.
And then we cried. We came back and we were like, oh my God,
Normal
so this is finally
is
happening.
happening.
And then it hit us. So now what next?
Mm-hmm.
That was when we now, started putting together the other side of the funds that we needed to move with. We started, in fact, I think we started selling stuff immediately we applied. We were moving with serious faith.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately you put in the application, we started selling everything.
They're selling, yeah.
I just knew God was
Oh
going to
wow, that
do
was
it.
that was some serious faith. That is something that
Ooh.
we are always very cautious. We're always telling our clients, don't sell anything, don't change anything, keep living your life like this is not coming yet. Just because you
We did
trust
not.
IRCC. Wow, you guys did that.
We did not. Immediately the day we got the email back that we had submitted, what? We were done. We put up our TV, we put up our chairs, we put up everything. And then some days, my husband would be like, this is what we're doing. Shikes, backfire. The sense of reasoning keeps coming. I mean,
Yes.
that advice is actually very important. I wouldn't even lie. That advice is very necessary. You need to move with how your instincts and how you feel to move with. Do you
Yes.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Christian, so I moved how I felt at the moment. I
Yeah.
knew this was coming and it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So we started putting funds together. We needed to make sure that we didn't leave anything behind that
Mm-hmm.
maybe someone was going to rip off and all of that. Then it was the business, our business. What
Because
were
you
we
have
going
a
to do with
business.
that? I had a
Mm-hmm.
business. My business was even still young,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just getting into it. I was just getting
Yes.
excited. I had a few celebrities ordering my products. I was
Yeah.
getting into the whole business owner feeling, and then boom,
This
the
happened.
it came back. But we had to look where we were headed. We knew we had bigger plans. We knew this could wait because it was going to come back someday, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So we started thinking of registering certain things and making sure that we had patents, we owned them before
Yeah.
leaving Nigeria, because we're not just living. We knew we had so much more to do back home,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so we had to start putting people in place. We did put, especially for the media side of our business, we had to put my brother-in-law in charge of certain things. I had to put a few friends I could trust on ground. And then we kept in touch with almost everybody we've worked with. That's why we're able to still operate. I'm able to still operate from here. Do you
Amazing.
understand? So we
Amazing.
just, it was just, it was so much happening. I can't take it all
At the
at
same
once.
time, yeah.
But we did put some things in place that's been helping us. And then thank God for a few family that was on standby to also, pick up
Help
and
with
support
that.
us at the time. Yes.
That's amazing. Now, proof of funds. I want to talk about that because there's a lot of times that people look at the cost of coming to Canada. For your family of four, so it was you, your husband, and your two children
Yeah.
coming with you. We talked, and I'm sure throughout the application process, how much I pushed back and my team would push back on making sure we had the funds that we needed
We
tip
did.
top complete. Now that you arrived in Canada, did you think those proof of funds were important?
They were. They were. They are. I don't know who needs to hear this. If you're here, your proof of fund, I don't know if this is something, but from where I stand, I think that gives you a lot of edge
Yes.
for your application.
Yes.
So if you're going to be going with info plays, just shall listen to them. Just
Thank you.
if they say add a little extra $1, add it.
Yeah.
Add a little cent, add it. Because it's not just, I don't think it's about the money though. It's just the fact that it's kind of probably gives these people you're coming to trust in what you're able to do for
Yourself.
what you've been able to do for yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
then the fact that you can support yourself. So I think it's really it's 100%
Important.
important. So no regrets on that. It was
Yeah.
a hassle. It wasn't easy putting some of those funds together, especially the duration, the time, because school.
It
but
is. Yeah.
but you have to do what you have to do. That's why you need a lot of time to plan, like I said initially.
Yes.
Plan for this. It took us about 2-3 years to put bulk down before we even consulted.
Perfect.
It took us a while. So you need to know these things. You
Mm-hmm.
don't just up and decide. I mean, of course, unless you have the money,
Of
please.
course,
Like,
yeah,
no me.
absolutely, yeah. And the reason I asked that question is just because sometimes people begin the journey and feel like you can make up the money on the go. There are some people that can, but a lot of times it requires a lot of planning to come. So I'm just going to answer a question here that has just popped up that relates to this particular topic that we're talking about. For Sophia, Sophia came for a program that was $25,000. I'm just rounding up the numbers here, 25,000. Her living expense for her alone is additional 10,000 minimum. So we're
Mhm.
looking at $35,000 already just for her. For her husband accompanying her, who was accompanying her on a work permit, and their two children, it's additional 4,000 for the husband and 3,000 for each of the other children. So you're looking at another $10,000 right there.
Yeah.
So for this particular family, I was asking for a minimum of 4,500 for just to show what we need to have in Canada. This is for her coming for that master's program, right? So that's for Canada. Now, IRCC has even taken it a step further. And what we've always told our clients was that 45 is okay. But for me, I'm always like, give me
Mhm.
more money. You guys,
Yeah.
I was like, give me more money. Because it's not just about that 45,000. There's also your flight ticket. For a family of four coming from Nigeria, you're probably spending close to $8,000 on an average,
Yes.
to $2,000
An
per person.
average.
So add another $8,000 there because you need to be very realistic with the visa officers to really convince them that you have enough money to sponsor yourself and your family,
Yep.
especially when it is a family application. So you're looking at that. And so right now we're already sitting at about 53,000 Canadian dollars. Look at that, about 55,000 Canadian dollars minimum for a 1 year program, master's program. And that master's program is one of the most affordable master's program that you would get in Canada and things like that. So that's exactly how much money you need. And I'm just going to give you a break, Sophia, from speaking and just talk about like the proof of funds itself. A lot of people start this process and think, oh, once I get my admission, the money will show up. I always say no. And this is why when you consult with my staff, with our consultant, they'll tell you start early to build your funds because When you rush to generate the funds in a month after you've received your admission, you have a lot of explanation to do to IRCC.
Yeah.
IRCC is not about seeing 10 million, 100 million in your account, but what they want to know more is where you got the money and how you raised the money. They
Yes.
are they're not very trusting of money that just shows up just before you print your bank statement to submit an application. Sometimes even the explanation that you might put accompanying that application might not sit well, especially if all the money you're needing is associated with that. It's different if you're being funded and you can explain from your business, from things, but as much as you can to make it a less tedious process for you and easily go through the process, save your money ahead of time. So get to the process of, you could either book a consultation with one of my team, or we have a course that kind of breaks this thing down more in detail. It will show you what you need when it comes to funds, and you want to know the program you're going for, because then
Mhm.
that's implemented. And you see, I would just want to add that with Sophia, that was a 1 year program. If she was coming for a 2 year program, we would be doubling that. We're probably looking, we have some of our clients who come for 2 year programs, and we're having to show proof of fund of close to 70 to $80,000, especially when the whole family is coming. Because even though our husband came in on a work permit, we can't assume that he's just going to be able to get a job right away and start working and making money to pay. They still expect you, IRCC still expects you to have that money upfront. So I hope that kind of puts a little bit of clarity around the funding. And you could hear from when Sophia started, she said we started to plan, put
Yeah.
money in place and things like that. So that in itself was a big piece of it. Now, Sophia, let's talk a little bit about your husband. So you're the students, we'll come to you. But for your spouse and as a couple, you guys are already, the good thing is you guys were in on this from the beginning about coming and all of that. Now that he came on the work permit, talk about his transition into Canada, you going to school and he working. What was his experience like?
So first things first, let me just say this. How it happened for Mr. A or Mrs. A wouldn't be how it will happen for Mr. A, C, D, you know?
That's
So your story is not my story, and my story is not supposed to be your story.
absolutely.
So this is just to give us context. For us, upon arrival, it was honestly, honestly, it was a smooth sail.
Yeah.
No need to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
That's the word. It was a smooth sail. My husband got his first job, I think, in the first 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And he got another offer in the second month.
Wow.
Let's also just build the fact that I mentioned career. You need to look back at what you do and the history you've built up, I guess. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
Florence will
Yeah.
tell you guys better. But my husband got his second offer in the, I think, second month. And then where he currently works now, that's with the television and radio station here, he got that offer by the third month.
Wow.
So we
Amazing.
have to even move cities. So the
Mm-hmm.
transitioning for me, and that gave me a lot of hope because I knew that we had different plans entirely from that, the way the transitioning went. We
Mm-hmm.
had different plans. We were not, like you said, nobody expects to just get a job upon arrival.
Yeah.
It's a different story for everybody. So we had that opportunity. It was a huge blessing. We're super super thankful for that. We had that opportunity, and then now he has settled in very well into this job, and
Mm-hmm.
so for us it was kind of a smooth, not a soft landing, because they
Mm-hmm.
were in betweens.
Yeah.
They were in betweens, please, not a soft landing.
Yeah.
But by the third month, my husband has secured, should we say, the dream job,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was it for us. So by the third month, on the path of his work visa and everything, he had gotten the right job where he wanted to grow. And for me, like you said, you come to me, but yeah,
Yes,
that was it.
absolutely. So can you speak a little bit about what steps you guys took to get that job?
Oh,
because a lot of times people don't know you're coming. What were some things that you did? Granted, it's not going to be the same for everyone, but what were some things that steps that your husband took that helped him secure those jobs in such very short time?
you need to make sure you have good reference from wherever you're coming from,
Very good.
just in case that comes up. Please, that's very important, especially if you've worked with a very structured industry like the media,
Mm-hmm.
where it's very easy to access any information about anybody, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So you need to have good, in fact, you need to end it well with your previous jobs. You need to
very
end it
important.
well. It's very
Yeah.
important, because most of the people they called, they asked my husband, they wanted to speak to, were like his human resource manager and his boss.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even lie about that.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
so you need to have good reference just in case you need to fall back to those people when they call. Then you also need to have built over time. See, you see this building before you start this process. You guys, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
please don't take it lightly. Build.
absolutely.
You're building funds, right? Please build history for your career, for your job, or whatever. My husband has been in the industry for over 10 years. I have been in the industry for over 6, 7, you
Yeah.
know? So you need to build history. So sometimes, like Florence said, you would be asked to explain certain things. And it might be even when you've entered Canada, your company, they will not be a sync in your CV. There will not be a tally. Your CV won't tally. That's a problem. So you need to make sure that you have all these things, a good reference from where you're coming from. You need to make sure that you have a good work history, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you build other things too that would help you, just in case you don't want to go into a structured career,
Maria,
all
yeah.
other kind of jobs. You need
Mm-hmm.
to build your own personal what's the handwork. Nigerians will call it handwork. You need to have
Yeah.
some, you need to be
Your own portfolio.
you need to build your portfolio, because that's
Yeah.
what's going to push you here. So we had started working on all those things earlier,
Mm-hmm.
immediately when we wanted to do this. So that's the thing for me: a good reference, and then your portfolio, whether it's as a business person or as a white collar job person. You need to
Very
have
good.
these two things. You need
Good.
to build history before you do anything about
Yeah.
coming to Canada. That's what I would say.
Perfect. So now that you guys arrived in Canada, what did he now do to get those jobs? Where did he look for the jobs? What did he have
Oh,
to do in terms of preparing for the finding the job, applying, and all of that? Where were there resources that you guys used
yeah.
that were very helpful?
Yes, first off, indeed. Indeed, yes, we immediately
First, yeah.
signed up on Indeed. I think all the job he's gotten were from Indeed.
Okay,
So
very
he
good.
built a portfolio on Indeed, and he was getting called up sometimes, and he was applying. He applied to a lot of jobs. Those are the
Very good.
in-betweens I'm talking about. Loads
Yes,
of jobs. You
very
know,
good.
you being in the media doesn't stop you from trying human resources. You being in the media doesn't, there's so many things that the career you have back home could prepare you for when coming to Canada.
Transferable
So we
skills.
spread we spread our wings when we were applying for jobs. He
Mhm.
was applying to various kind of industries, various kind of companies and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
Indeed was, I think that was a major tool for us. And then when we came, we started communicating with other Africans and other Nigerians that we had met here. There,
Yeah,
there are usually groups in various provinces.
provinces.
So we
Yeah,
were talking to people, meeting a few people, exchanging contacts. Oh, if you hear about anything, just let me know. You have to put yourself out there in the right way. So
yeah,
Indeed was it for us.
very
Indeed.
good.
And LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, yes, and LinkedIn,
And
yes.
LinkedIn. Yes, I know. I remember talking to you guys, and I think I want to mention here as well settlement agencies, right? The settlement agencies in your community when you arrive are always
Yes.
there as well to help you with integrating and helping you get those job like preparing you for the jobs as well, preparing you for the Canadian economy and all of that. So that's really good. That's perfect. Now it was a plan, it was a dream, to relocate, to move to Canada, and then all of that happened. you guys finally saw yourself in Canada. As a family, what would you say your biggest shock was? Because Canada has lots of great things, but there are lots of things that will shock you when you arrive as a newcomer. What was those things, and what was some adjustments that you guys had to do as a family to integrate properly here in Canada?
Culture shock. Culture shock. It will hit you from left, right,
Mhm.
middle, under,
Everywhere. Yeah.
everywhere. There was a culture shock. Although we've even worked in an industry where we had met a lot of, different kind of people. It was still a
Different
shock to
cultures.
us. Yes,
Yeah.
it was still, oh, they love small talk here. You're not
Yeah.
a small talk person. Well, you need to
Yeah.
get along.
Mhm.
you know, then there's the child care. Whoo, that's for me.
Childcare.
Child, oh Lord. Back home, you could just call up anybody. Oh, please help me get somebody to come in today,
Yeah.
tomorrow. You
Yeah.
guys, you guys,
Childcare.
if you're coming with your family, prepare thyself.
Yes.
Prepare thyself. You're going to be everything.
That's right.
You're going to be everything. You're going to be even, in fact, I had to go learn first aid. I
Yeah.
had just to prep myself,
Yeah.
and then the hospital system, the medical system here is different from what we have back home. You can't just walk into any hospital. So that's also a shock for us. The first
Mhm.
time I went to the hospital, I waited for so long. I was like,
Yeah. Emergency.
okay,
Yeah. If you're
that's
not
me.
dying, it's not priority.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? You guys, just is a baby. Just look
Yeah.
at us when we go.
Yeah.
There's no corner, no mango mango.
No.
You
Straight.
cannot talk to any nurse directly. You cannot,
Mm-hmm.
all those kind of things. And then also the other one is now like trying to deal with the individual transition happening in your lives.
Yeah.
Your husband will be dealing with what he's dealing with. You will be dealing with what you're dealing with. And your kids, no matter how young they are, will be dealing with what they're dealing with. At some point, I was so worried. Will my son even ever start talking? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's always at home. We could daycare, getting a daycare, Florence, you know how it works.
Yeah.
It's not just a walk in the park. You need to
Yeah.
be. I have applied for over 30 daycares since I arrived
Wow.
here for over 30. And then they keep telling you, oh, we don't have a spot at the time. All those new things. And they might just get so overwhelming. So,
Mm-hmm.
so like it was totally different from what we had back home. You would easily have help. A
Yeah.
family member could easily pop into the house, oh, help you do the dishes. But
Mm-hmm.
here,
Mommy, sorry.
you are on
Everything.
your own.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think I should add there with like childcare here. If you know you're coming and you've already determined the province and the area you're going to, probably gotten your approval, you at least want to put your name on wait list. It's very important. I lived here, I had my children here. When I had my son, someone kind of mentioned, oh, there's always a long wait list. So I think at the time I was like 3 months pregnant. I didn't even have this baby yet. I put his name on the waiting list. He did not get a spot in the daycare we wanted him to go to until he was 18 months. So just calculate how long that was. And even at the time I was going back to work after the 1 year maternity leave, it was more like, where are you going to put him in? So childcare, it is definitely one of the shocker that a lot of people experience. And also, even when you're coming with kids that are even a little bit older, in Canada and in most provinces, I think kids cannot stay on their own until they're like about teenage years. So you
Yeah.
can't even leave them. So if you
No.
don't have any help, any support, a lot of times, and the reason why I'm speaking about this is because sometimes people think when I come, I'm going to work, I'm coming with my children. You might not be able to, because maybe as a student, the time you have find work is the time daycare is closed and there's nobody to watch the children for you to go work and things like that, or except you have that job at home and things. So it is not always very easy with childcare. It's very important to come prepared for it, get your name on the list as soon as you can. and explore those options. When the kids are older, that they just go to school, it might be a little bit easier. But when they really need daycare and stuff, is one of those challenges that it might take a couple before you find a spot and all of that. So thank you so much for sharing that. I hope everyone is still listening, hearing us. Leave us a comment, ask questions. If there's anything that sticks out to you, we will try to answer as we go along. So now that with childcare and you being a student, let's talk about you're living in New Brunswick, Canada right now. Could you share what your experience has been living in New Brunswick and schooling at Canada? You schooled in Nigeria. Now you're schooling in Canada. What has that been for you?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Yeah, bye. So it's also part of the culture shock. The most for me was sir and ma during classes. that was the most. I struggled so hard to not
call them by their names. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Excuse me, why am I calling you by your name, sir? So so I and my husband, we were always consciously making sure that don't go out today and go and call anybody sir or ma.
Yeah, that's right.
So those kind of things, everybody just wants to. I think I don't want to say they are laid back, but when it comes to people, do you understand me? It's just everybody is like every other person. The grandma wants you to call her Rose, or
yes,
say Grandma Rose, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. My son started daycare, and his aunt, the teacher, see, I'm even calling her auntie. The auntie in school sent me she was reporting to us. He keeps calling me auntie. I don't understand. I was like, God, that's how we used to do in our country. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so that shows the kids are adjusting as well, and you guys are adjusting.
Yeah. So for me, school was you will read.
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. Don't think you can just come and get resources online. You will read. And the professors are like, because they make themselves available and accessible to everybody at any time, it kind of made it easy for me to also transition into the course, because I was asking as many questions as possible. I was emailing my professor whenever, if I don't understand something. So it was totally different from where we were coming from. I didn't do any final exams, but I did a lot of school work. Mm-hmm. I literally didn't have any time to breathe. I was doing an assignment every week. Every week, I have at least 2 to 3 assignments every week. So you will read. And for me, that was a lot of schoolwork. you know? Yeah, that was a lot of schoolwork. And probably because I haven't been in school for a long time. But I mean, I've been a script writer, I've been writing. So it kind of made it easy, just a little bit more academic this time. So adjusting to school was easy for me. I mean, my grades are good. So I can say adjusting to the system was actually very easy for me. It wasn't hard, but you just have to put yourself in it. I don't think there's anything there. But if you want to play around, if you want to go easy, then it's really go hard on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do tell people that school here, a lot of people, when I come, especially when people start asking, how am I going to be able to work? How many hours can I work? I'm like, even the 40-hour announcement that has been put in place, I've been talking to a lot of students, they're like, no, I'm not doing any 40 hours work. I'll fail if I try it, because there's so much with school here that you have to do that sometimes it doesn't make it very easy for you to work and then do well at school and all of that. So it's very demanding. And like Sophia said, one of the unique things about studying in Canada is like you could actually get all your grades before the final exams, because a lot of assignments, homework, and things are given to you that by
From
the
the
time,
beginning.
yeah, by the time you're probably writing, I've written final exams that are just 15%. So your 85% was already allocated prior
Yes.
to, like, in your homework and test and class interaction and all
Yeah.
of that. So it's very well-rounded experience that you get, and it takes off that pressure of making one day so important in that final decision and that final great points that you have and things like that. So
Yeah.
well, that's great. That's absolutely great. How is Moncton? How is New Brunswick? How is you're in Fredericton now, but how
Frederick.
is,
Yes.
yes, how is New Brunswick?
New Brunswick is very family oriented. I think that's the word I would like to use to like,
Explain it.
yes, explain it. It's very, they're very intimate with themselves, everybody is of course you don't just judge everybody from one smile, but I'm just saying, like, everybody is throwing you a welcoming glance, everybody is waving at you, everybody's cracking random, you're getting random jokes cracked at you by just walking by someone, stuff like that. And then
Yeah.
they are very easy on the feedback, they're very easy and they're welcoming with the feedback. This is what I've observed. And then my husband also says same thing from his work. He gets a lot of feedbacks he's not used to from where he's coming from based on his work. So he's like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't know if
Yeah.
I should take this feedback or they're just whining me. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I also get certain compliments from my lecturers, and I'm like, are you just, but that's the
Mhm.
thing. They are very warm people
That's
out
it.
here. They're very warm people out here. They care for each other.
Yeah.
Life is not too, I wouldn't say standard of living is too expensive or not too expensive. It's still based on what you earn at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So you need to still cut your coat according to your size wherever you live. Yeah.
Wherever you
But
live.
it's a cool
Absolutely.
place and we like it here. We
That's
do. And it's quiet because we didn't
it's
want a
quiet.
noisy place.
Yes, because you moved from Lagos, which was, of course, it's very busy
And
and
we told
noisy.
you that.
Yes. Yeah.
We didn't want a very noisy. We just wanted, just go to somewhere calm for a while. Lagos is my
Yeah.
Lagos people, you know. Lagos
Yeah.
is all that. But I and my husband, you say if we were going to ever relocate, we needed to start from somewhere that was just very quiet, and we got that thanks to you.
That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are liking it out there. It is.
Yeah,
It is. It's not your Toronto or your Calgary, but it does have it. It comes with its
yeah.
own blessings and all of that. Well, you've come. You've lived in Canada and all of that. What do you miss the most about Nigeria? About home? What do you miss the most about home?
Access to my family, to my mom,
Mhm.
to my friends.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
I just
Yeah,
want them to, that feeling you have knowing that, oh, my mom is just in PH, I'll just, catch a flight. You can
and
catch
then go home.
flights anyhow here.
No, no, no,
You
no, no,
think
no, no.
so that's it.
Yeah.
I miss the I miss the Nigerian thing about you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I miss my family. I miss that easy access to everybody. But aside from that, nothing else. I don't miss
Nothing.
the food. I don't miss all that. But
Yeah.
just
That's
my
good.
family.
That's your family. Now,
Yeah.
when you look back at, because when you arrived in Canada, December of
25th. We didn't even have any December
it
last
was
year.
not Christmas, yes, December 21st. Yeah. So you arrived in December, and now that you've come, you've lived. When you look back at the decision your family made, would you say it was worth it?
It was worth it. It
And why
was
do you
worth
say
it.
that?
100%. I am a degree. I am a degree hotter, if that's
Yeah.
something.
That's
I have
right.
a master's degree in one of like the most prestigious schools in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
That that to my husband is everything.
Yeah.
He's so proud of himself. He's so proud of me. We're proud of the kids. We've made so many sacrifices together as a family, as a young family. We've just been
Yes.
together for 4 years, and this has been like probably the biggest year of our lives. And
Amazing.
now we have an extra degree that is going to push us
To the
to
next
where we're
level.
headed in the future. So
Yeah.
no, we do not have any regrets. We had moments. Of course, we did have moments where I just want to go back home.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody said it was going to be easy, right?
That's right.
But regrets, zero regrets.
Zero regrets.
We've been super blessed. We've
Yeah.
been super blessed. Not even lucky. We've been blessed by the people we've met, by the job my husband has, by the by the people, random people we've met on the streets who has given us the right information and stuff like that. We've just
Yeah.
been, and good health. We've not fallen sick.
That's
But
good.
things happened,
Sure.
so so we don't have regrets. Nah, we don't have any regret. It was totally worth it, and it was even more worth it because we have you guys behind us. So anyhow, we are like, we just call Florence. We just
Yeah.
just send Florence an email. So now
Yeah.
it's been
No,
worth it.
that's good. That's good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. We've seen lots of comments here. Someone says, "I miss you." Chinesa says she misses you on the chat, and Adora said, "Yes, we're a family of five. If a family of four needs that, what would a family of six be?" So if you're listening, Sophia has been sharing a lot about her experience moving here with her family, the adjustment and all of that. And we're now at the tail end. Now, if you have any questions, I'm going to answer Adora's question. But if you have any questions about that you would like to ask Sophia specifically about her experience and things you need to know if you're thinking of coming to Canada as well, or you're already about to fly down here, this is the time to ask. And I'm just going to be working on. So leave your question in the chat there, and I will be reading them out, and we'll ask and discuss and answer here for you. So for a family of six, yes,
Hi Nasa, hi Adora.
thank you for joining. So
Thank
for
you.
for a family of six, it depends again if we were to use Sophia's school, because school is the big determining factor. We have schools that are a lot more affordable. There may not be a master's program, it could be a PGD. There's a lot of options that you have. But if we were to use Sophia and you're coming as a family of six, then we have to add an additional $6,000, because for every additional accompanying dependent is 3,000. The first one is 4,000, and then all the other ones will be 3,000. So for Sophia, which was the family of four, was about 55,000, including flight tickets. So for this, for a family of six, you're going to be looking at about 65,000 Canadian dollars, and that's if you're looking at a master's program. If you're looking at maybe a PGD program that is like 20,000 or around 15,000 thereabout, you could save yourself another 10,000 there. But there's so much that comes into the decision to come. There's the funds, which is the biggest piece of it. There's also your program of choice, the program that you're taking, it being aligned with your program of studies. Like I said, Sophia completed her first degree in linguistics, and then and then she's coming now to do a master's. Finding a program that is very complementary to what you've already done, and that you could build a strong case that fits into your career plans.
Yes.
Sophia said she's a business owner. She and her husband own businesses and things like that. So it's very easy, of course, for her to transition with this degree to help them build their business. Because in your application, you need to explain all these things to the visa officer so that they know why the education is important to you. Back home, what can you do with it and all of that. So when you determine what that is, then you know. And many times I have families that come to us as well, and they may have come with that initial plan to all come together. But by the time you determine what it would cost you to come together, then there may be a different strategy in place. There may be strategies to split and come in twos and threes. And then when you arrive, you try to bring the other people over. Sophia, go ahead. You want to say
I have something to say, Florence.
something?
Remember when you initially had that first consultation and you had suggested that maybe we should consider that option of splitting up?
Yeah.
You gave us a heartache for that information alone, gave us a heartache for days.
Exactly. And we like to be very, very realistic with our clients, right? Because if you don't have the money, and what Sophia and her husband did was they knew the number, they went and did the work to get the number, right? They went and did the work to get the number. So it was like, okay, because if you're pushing me that you want to come and we only have 20,000, then we have to make you work with the 20,000 to meet the requirement.
Yeah.
But if we tell you what that total would be and you could raise the funds, then by all means that can happen. We've had families who have been able to come, like if you're looking at a 15,000 tuition cost there, but let's be realistic, 20,000, because a lot of them are now at about 17,000 to 20,000. If you're looking at that, you could shave up like 7,000 or 8,000 in the cost. If maybe a one parent is coming with maybe two children, depending on the family, then you could save some money there. Could you bring the other family members in? Could they eventually come and join you? Yes. And I would really pull back on that. When families come and they want to come together, as much as I can, I would encourage them to come to Canada. Because you can hear from my conversation with Sophia, you need the support to take care of yourselves. Not everybody is going to be able to do it alone as a single parent here. Sometimes you need your other spouse and all of that to help you. So it's very important to really look into what you want to do and determine what that cost is for you as a family and work together. There are clients who have come to us and said, if that's what it's going to cost, we'll see you in about a year. We're going to work on the funds and we'll come back when we have it. And it's important to have that because it's such a big piece of the application process.
Yeah.
Okay. So Savage has a question here. Can I convert to TRV to study permit? What is the procedure and the possible time frame from inside of Canada? You can. We recently did that, actually. One of our clients, he's visiting Canada right now. He actually got approved in 11 days or something crazy like that. He came visiting and we got him an admission. It's on our Instagram page if you check the story there. He came in to visited. It was his family and his son were here, and we applied for school for him, and we were able to convert his visiting, well, not converted, you can't convert per se, but basically apply for a study permit for him, and now he's been approved of a study permit, and he's going to continue remaining in Canada and studying. We've done this multiple times, so it's very possible, but there's a process to it. In terms of time frames, what I've noticed is that it's a little bit faster. If you're in Canada and you're applying for study permit, it's not that the study permit is processed in Canada per se, but I think there's something that has to do with by virtue of location that gets processed a lot faster and all of that. So it is possible, and you can definitely send an email to my team, and we would be able to work with you through that if that's something that you're interested in. Or you could first of all even just schedule a consultation to see if that would be the best option for you.
Schedule consultations, guys. You guys, information is too much on this.
Yes.
So you need to streamline. Like you need to know that you have a level, like you're falling down on a level ground, and the level ground would be the people who have the right information. Like Florence said, the people who are going to be very realistic with you and not preach. No, don't worry, we can make it possible with 20K. I wanted to hear that. Honestly, I wanted Florence to tell me that. Don't worry, we will do it. All of you. But when she now told us, with this, you alone go, I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, absolutely. You say that, and I remember times when I remember I had a client once, and the funds were not really great, and I said it's not working, and for me, what most people don't see, the behind the scenes of when we work is, I want those applications to be successful. I want them to go in one time and come out approved. I can't guarantee it, but I want to go to bed with my team. This is how we all are. We want to know that we've given it our all.
100.
So the application goes through a series of processes. We're vetting it ourselves internally to make sure, does it make sense? Would this argument make sense? Would it work? Is it realistic? We're doing all of this to the applications. And there are times when I've said, like, if we don't feel like it's strong enough, and we're talking with the client, and they see that pushback. I've had times when I've said, you go do it yourself, take it from me, I'm not doing it again. And then at that point, the clients always know that I'm serious. At that point, it's like, okay, she's not just going to submit just anything.
Yes.
A lot of times it's not about rushing to put something in, but it's really making sure that you're making a good case, because we have one shot at getting it. IRCC would not call you to ask questions. So you want to make sure that you're working and you're vetting your applications very well before you put it in and all of that. So that's very important. Yeah. So we're almost wrapping up here. Sophia, there's a lot of people, of course, we can see even in the chat and the questions coming in, that are thinking about this, that are looking to explore these options. What would be some key things in your own journey now that you've come almost full circle? You're here, you're graduating, not to lay it all out there. You already have job interviews, you're already doing so well. Before we know it, the jobs are going to start rolling in. Now that you're here, what would be your advice to another person who is looking at making this move as well? What would you tell them?
First things first, please do not go into this kind of life-changing decision if you do not have faith, both in God and in yourself. Because the faith I mean in yourself is that would be what will vet for you when you push in your application.
Mm-hmm.
Your career, the funds, the family ties, there's
Yes,
that one too.
family ties, absolutely.
You need to have faith in God and then in yourself, because it's these things that would help whatever application Florence is going to be putting in for you to go through. You need to first believe that you're able to do this, and then God is with you. Then you can push for InfoPlace to back you. Then secondly, please prepare. Plan ahead. Please don't just jump into this thing.
Yeah.
It will break you, honestly. Even with having everything planned out, it still breaks people.
Yes.
So imagine not having, and then starting, and then struggling.
Yeah.
And then having to pause in between. It would hurt you so bad. So you want to make sure that you're fully ready in every area that is necessary. Then thirdly, please make sure you're in agreement with this thing with whoever you're doing your life with, your husband, your children. Even if one person has to go, let it be that it was teamwork. It's going to keep you guys through the days when it's going to be hard. Even when you arrive with your spouse, there's going to be days where you guys need to just lean on each other, because there's no strength anymore. So you need to make sure that you guys have that alignment as a family, your kids and your spouse. And then don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. If you lie to yourself and come to Canada filled with lies in your head, based on the probably stories you've seen online, or just trying to make yourself feel good about how the life is going to be out here, you hurt yourself. So you need to be very realistic.
Yes.
Trust God, and come and see that God is good, because you will make it.
Yeah.
If a place does it for you, trust me. We don't play here. We don't play here. We don't play here. So just plan, pray, be in alignment with your family, and then go for it. That's it.
Go for it. Perfect. Yes. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on. To everyone listening and watching, thank you so much for listening and watching. It's been a really nice having you. Lots of great nuggets. Thank you so much, and I wish everyone enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning. And of course, if you would like to get your own journey started as well, A consultation is always a great place to start. My consultants are able to discuss with you and, really go into details on your own unique specific circumstance, because there's a lot of information online. But what our consultation session does is put out a plan for you. And with that particular process and putting out that plan for you, then you can take it and go work on it. And you can book the consultation on our website, www.infoplacecanada.ca, or you could also send an email to ask@infoplacecanada. If you don't feel like talking to anybody, you're still trying to figure this out by yourself, I do have an online course that is very detailed on especially the study permit application. It's a good watch because it will show you everything. We can't talk about everything here, but it will show you how in depth we have to go on all these applications in order to actually get have a good chance of getting an approval from IRCC. Because I use the word good chance because as I speak to you as an IRCC, I can't guarantee a decision, and nobody that guarantees a decision to you out there is telling you the truth, because nobody can. So you'll see what it takes. And when you see what it takes, you can now decide for yourself if you have what it takes. If you have what it takes, we're more than happy to work with you and do what we can to ensure that you work towards achieving your goals. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Sophia. It's been such a pleasure hanging out with you, chatting, and just being a part of your family story. It's been such an honor.
Yes, thank you so much, Florence. Thank you so much.
All right.